is going on, Dolphins fans? It's your boy Dillon, and I welcome you back to another episode of Dolphins with Dillon. So, you know, it's a few days away from our first game, our season opener, our home opener against the Tennessee Titans. Let's practice today. There's a few things going on. Actually, Adam Gase has a press conference going on currently as I speak. So, you know, once that's done and I can get that for you and whatever, I'll make sure you guys have that. It'll be part of this video at the end. But there's some things to go over, some things I want to talk about. First and foremost, I want to discuss I got some my first hate messages, hate comments, and I just wanted to talk about that for a second because it's fun and it's exciting, and you know, people, you know, you have something like this, you do like a show, a channel, a blog, whatever the hell it is, you know, and there's always going to be those people that like to talk shit and like to just rain on people's parades, right? So, you know, it is what it is. I expect it, especially as I grow, as I get bigger, and my, you know, in the channel it grows, it gets bigger, and so on and so forth. So it's not, you know, it's not surprising or anything like that. And frankly, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's kind of cool because, you know, it just goes to show that I'm starting to, you know, reach out there a bit and start getting the attention of people, right? So, you know, I got a handful of subscribers now. I'm almost to 40. Thank you all. I appreciate that. Let's keep it going. Let's spread it around. Let's grow some more. But, you know, obviously I'm touching the hearts and minds of some of those, you know, individuals that, I don't know, you know, for whatever reason, they just feel like, you know, jumping up into other people's stuff and just, you know, shit talking. I don't get why people feel the need to, you know, like, if you're not a fan, you know, this dude was saying a bunch of stuff about how we're gonna get beat by the Titans and it's gonna be a sad day for us and blah blah blah, and how you know, he took some personal shots at me and blah blah blah, whatever. But like, so the funny thing is he left comments on like 4 videos, like 4 separate videos. So like, if you don't like my stuff, why are you watching it? Just saying, right? So if you don't like it, don't watch it. And if you feel like you gotta make an ass out of yourself, well, go for it. I'll make you feel stupid. I'll make you look stupid. Not a problem. Anyway, so I just thought that was fun. I thought that was interesting. So we're go ahead and start getting into the real news, the important stuff that, you know, Dolphins fans want to hear and know about. And I've got a good few of you guys now, and like I said, I appreciate that. You know, so I'll go ahead and get you the information that you're here for. First and foremost, quick article from Dolphins Wire about, you know, a couple of our returning players to practice. This is really good. We have up to this point been, at least, you know, in relative terms, we've been very healthy compared to, you know, other teams throughout the preseason and getting to where we are now currently. You know, getting into that, there's 3 key players returning to practice today that they talk about. So here it is. On Wednesday, the Dolphins had 3 key players return to practice as they're preparing for the game against the Titans on Sunday. Defensive end William Hayes, guard Ted Larson, and wide receiver Jakeem Grant all practiced. Hayes was held out for the entire preseason because of a hamstring injury. Larson suffered a knee injury last week that wasn't believed to be too serious. Grant suffered a concussion in the Dolphins' 3rd preseason game against the Ravens. While Grant did practice, he remains in concussion protocol as he will need to pass all 5 stages to play against the Titans on Sunday. Wide receiver Devontae Parker was the only Dolphins player not in attendance during media availability, as he has been nursing a broken finger. According to a team source, Parker will not play against the Titans. So, having, you know, mentioned all of that, that's kind of partly, you know, what I want to talk about. Is, you know, for one, obviously the returning players. That's good to see. Hopefully Jakeem Grant will be able to clear the concussion protocol before the game. Obviously, if he can't, that makes our wide receiving core a bit thin, especially since we don't expect Parker to play this game as it stands. But for all intents and purposes, it appears as though Jakeem Grant should be ready. But it is good to have Ted Larson back. He is a valuable backup, although, of course, we hope and expect not to need him, at least for this game, hopefully the entire season, frankly, so that way we can keep those 5 offensive linemen together on the field, keep them gelling, building the continuity and the chemistry, and, of course, keeping Ryan Tannehill clean, opening up holes for running backs, and so on and so forth. And William Hayes, that's good as well. They've been he should be ready to go, I would think. They've kept him out all preseason just as a precautionary measure. Gase is really good about that. The coaching staff, strength conditioning staff, they're all really good about that. Making sure guys don't do too much, getting them rehabbing properly, doing all the things necessary. So it's good to see that he's back and able to start getting into the game plans and so on and so forth for this upcoming game, because he is a valuable chess piece for us on that defensive line. So from that standpoint, us being pretty healthy overall is a very, very, very good thing. Obviously it goes without saying, but it is. We definitely do want all hands on deck, ready and available to perform and to come in if and when necessary. Plus, obviously, it is just generally speaking good to be, healthy, obviously, as a football team. So moving on a little bit, going to Devontae Parker. I want to talk to him a little bit. I got his jersey on today because he was going to be one of the primary discussion points for this video. So it is disappointing that he is not going to be available and ready to play. I do think it is smart to keep him out and avoid setbacks and stuff like that if that is necessary. But it is at the end of the day disappointing in the regard that he will not be there. Having said that, particularly if Jakeem Grant does come back, then we should be solid, at wide receiver anyway. I mean, I'm perfectly happy and confident with Kenny Stills, Albert Wilson, Danny Amendola, Jakeem Grant if he's there. I don't really know much about this Tanny McAvoy dude, but, I'll learn more about him and stuff as time goes on. But I feel overall pretty confident in our receiving core. Plus, of course, you talk about then the running backs out of the backfield and the tight ends and so on and so forth. So that's not really too much of a concern for me. As far as Parker himself goes, I don't really feel like I'm going to be making too many, predictions about how his season is going to go for him at this point. For me, it's kind of like a wait and see sort of thing. I'm just going to have to kind of, figure it out as it goes. I hope he can come back and be what we drafted him to be. I wanted him when we took him. So I don't want to end up being disappointed by him, but it is just kind of what it is, I guess, and we'll have to wait and see how things go. So, it is what it is. So moving on, though, there's one other thing I want to talk about. So it was interesting. Mike Vrabel, the coach of the Titans, did an interview today, and he talked a little bit about the interesting point that he spoke about. He obviously, he gave some praise to Kenyon Drake, to Ryan Tannehill, says he looks like he's back to his 2016 form, back to his, high level of play, so on and so forth. But the interesting thing, because obviously we took Luke Falk off of the waiver wire from the Tennessee Titans, and one of the topics of conversation is whether or not he is going to divulge information, from the Titans' offense and so on and so forth, or maybe even their defense, kind of an insider look or whatever. Mike Vrabel says that, he didn't, obviously, in the preseason implement everything that they're going to be doing in the regular season, which, of course, makes sense. But he also did say that he probably will need to make some changes as he expects the questions, at least, to be asked. So that was interesting. I don't know if it really is going to matter, if it's going to do anything, if it's important, but we'll see. He's an interesting prospect. Like I said, I know that we did garner interest in him during the draft process. So he'll just be an interesting addition to pay attention to just in general. Anyway, so that's about it. Having said all that, this is the end of the show. Of course, as always, if you like it, make sure you hit the subscribe button, share it, leave questions, comments, concerns, all that good stuff. And enjoy the interview. I don't know if there's going to be any more other than Gase's interview. There probably will be at some point. There's likely to be some player interviews, but I'll at least get that Gase interview for you. So with that, Phins up. I'll see y'all soon.
I mean, there's always excitement every year, right? So you come in with a certain level of excitement. For me, I mean, I feel more ready for this year than I've ever felt before. It's tough to say. The excitement feels different. I feel more confident, I would say, in the guys that we have and the path that we're on. Are we there yet? No. But the standards that we've established in training camp throughout the off season, how guys come to work each and every day, pushing to get better, that's what excites me more, I think, more than I've ever been.
Was there a moment over the last 2 years you thought maybe this day won't come, or do you always know you'll be back? Opening day 2018.
That was always the goal. I just stayed strong in believing that. Obviously, you never know what's going to happen, but Coach Gase was great along the way, just keeping me in the loop and informed on what he was thinking and where the team was headed. So, I always felt confident that this would be where we ended up, and it's finally here, and I'm ready to go.
Were you a little charged up at practice today?
All excited. It's a big opportunity for us. I knew coming off of a big break that the guys were going to need pushing a little bit. It was a warm day out there, a little tropical, and we had to do everything we can to get better. It's one of a few days of practice we get this week, so I really wanted to push the guys and make sure we were getting as much as we could out of each and every rep.
Ryan, I'm assuming that you believe that you're going to show your best starting on Sunday, your best that you've ever shown. If that's true, why do you believe that?
Because you're constantly trying to get better. I mean, that's the reason we're here, right? Is to build off of what you've done, constantly improve off of what you've done in the past. So I feel more confident in fully playing the position than I ever have, everything that entails. And it might not be each and every play you see it, but I know certain situations come up, I'm going to be quicker to react and make the right decision and not have to think about it.
Because you're more familiar with the offense? Because why?
Yeah, more familiar with the offense, more confident in all the things that we're doing. It's my third year really in the offense, of being around it, going through the mental side of things. When things break down, knowing exactly where my outs are, how to save the play, how to, it might be a throwaway, not taking a sack. It might be, just getting the ball out. So little things like that aren't going to really show up on the stat sheet, but can have a huge effect on the course of a game.
Do you feel like Sunday be like for you 16 months?
Sunday's going to be huge. I'm really looking forward to it. I think obviously haven't got to play a full game in a long, long time, and to be able to do it at home in front of our fans and go out and do what I love, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Ryan, this newfound confidence that you have with the playbook and things, has that kind of extended to you trying to maybe endear yourself with fans on social media like we've seen in videos recently?
I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I haven't spent a lot of time on social media in the past. I still don't spend a lot of time on there, but just trying to engage a little bit more with fans, give fans a little window into my life.
Why, Ryan? Why, Ryan?
I just haven't done it in the past. People are constantly, asking me about it, and got a lot of positive input, as I've kind of slowly got into it. So try to have some fun with it and just let that aspect of my life out there a little bit.
You kind of let Steele hung out to dry there with that throw.
It was actually a good throw. Lauren's like, he actually made a good throw. Why'd you have to trash him like that? I'm like, I guess for the price of comedy, right?
Brian, what do you like most about this group of receivers that you have this year?
I think their work ethic. I think every day those guys are coming to work. Obviously, you have Devontae out, so then Jakeem and Albert stepping up a little bit. Then Jakeem gets banged up a little bit and misses a little time. But excited with how they've worked, how they've progressed. They come to work each and every day. I think they all bring something a little bit different to the table. We have a ton of fast guys, a ton of guys that can stretch the field, a lot of versatile guys. We've moved Albert around a lot, moved Jakeem around a lot. Kenny can play both inside and outside. So we have guys that can move all over the place, and we can create the matchups we want.
With Albert and say Kenny on the field at the same time, the challenge that presents defenses with the speed that those guys possess.
Yeah, you have Albert, Kenny, Jakeem. You add in Drake and Jaceki. You have really 5 guys that can really go and create matchup problems for defenses. So you kind of have to pick your poison as a defense on what you want to take away.
Do you think this is the best offensive line you've played behind?
I'm more confident in this offensive line than I've ever been. I think they do a great job, and they have done a great job over the course of camp of gelling together, coming together as a unit. Starting off 5 individual guys and then really coming together as a unit and working as a unit. And once you start seeing that happen and they're passing off twists and games up front, it gives you a lot of confidence as a passer to be able to stand in the pocket and make the throw.
What's the greatest challenge that the Titans defense poses?
They're good. I think their back end is probably some of the strength of their defense. They have some good players back there. They do get good pressure up front. 99 is a heck of a football player. He comes off the ball fast. He's disruptive and can get after the passer. So they have a lot of talented guys, and we have to do our jobs and to keep those guys accounted for.
When you're facing a team of different coordinators, defensive offense, everything, defensive coordinator in your case, you just focus on what you have to do, and because you're going to see things that they haven't shown on film yet, right?
Right. Yeah. Obviously, Dean Pease coming over from Baltimore. Facing him the past couple of years, they've done a lot of things with that defense. Haven't really shown it so much with Tennessee, but it's all on the table. So that's kind of the wild card when you're facing a team that changes, right? The coordinator. So they're showing a little bit more stuff that maybe they did with Houston in the past, but we're preparing for all of it just in case they roll it out.
I'm sorry, Rob, how much have you guys held back?
Do what?
How much have you guys held back this preseason, not shown?
Yeah, there's always stuff that you hold back. There's a few plays going into week 3 that Gase wanted to run. I was like, hey, let's those are great plays. Let's save those. So yeah, we have some things that we haven't shown, but that we're excited about, and I think it can help us not only in this game but as we move forward.
Can you guys save those plays?
Yeah. Thankfully, we saved them.
Has Falk been able to help you with anything as far as Tennessee is concerned?
I haven't picked his brain too much yet so far, but we'll have him in the room and have those conversations.
It's one thing when you have history against coordinators and things like that. We've played Coach P's multiple times, twice here, and then in the past where I've been. And, they got a new offense coordinator, which, we got 4 games we're going off of. So it can be tough, and we know we're going to have to make some adjustments during the game.
So Luke Falk was on that team for 6 months, whatever. Can he help you in regard to information?
I think it's hard because when you're a rookie, you're trying to make sure that you get to the building on time. You're so focused on just trying to do the things that they're asking you to do. It's just hard when you're a rookie. If we were talking about like a 5th-year, 6-year guy, then probably yeah. But I think when you're a rookie, it's just so hard. You're just trying to keep your head above water.
What do you like about him as a QB prospect?
What's that?
What do you like about him as a quarterback prospect?
Well, he was a guy that we brought in here. He was one of the 3 quarterbacks that we brought in. Really liked just his football mind. I thought he was, from the system he came from, the knowledge he had of that, how he knew the ins and outs of that, and kind of the way that they called plays kind of fit with what we do a little bit, where he could make some adjustments at the line of scrimmage. I really liked his anticipation. You know, he throws on time, he's accurate. You know, it's one of those things where he kind of reminds me of a lot of guys that I've been around in the past, and, you know, we're fired up to get him here.
And in terms of preparing for the opener, do you guys get an advantage because they don't have your video just like they don't have yours?
I mean, I think we're almost all on the same playing field. You know, they have a little more film on at least what we've done in the past. So there's always going to be something different from both sides.
What appealed to you on Tanner McAvoy and then Brandon Bolden?
Well, that was interesting with Tanner. You know, just special teams guy in the past, and you know, we're always looking to see what else we can get out of it. You know, guys that have special teams background, to see if we can see how much they can contribute on offense. He's had explosive plays in the past. It hasn't been a numerous amount of catches, but you know, his average per catch is somewhere in the 20s. You know, so he's made some explosive plays, and he's done a really good job on special teams, and that was one of the main reasons we liked him. And the fact that Bolden was available, you know, we did everything we could to just get him here. And you know, obviously with Danny being here and his knowledge of his background and kind of what he's all about, we felt like he was somebody. Adding him was going to be a big deal for us.
Adam, do you expect to see a lot of Derrick Henry, and what's unique about him?
Well, I'm assuming yes. You know, I can't say for sure, but what's unique? I mean, he's fast and as big as you can get him. I mean, he is a powerful man, and it takes multiple guys to bring him down to the ground.
What does it mean to you to kick off a regular season game week prep with Ryan as your guy?
Well, it's so different than the last time because that was 2 years ago, and we were, you know, still in we were in the learning stage trying to figure out, you know, how it was going to go and who we were leaning on. And there's so many little things that we were just trying to learn, and now it's, you know, he grabs a hold of the reins, takes over practice, and he's all riled up today. You know, I figured out a way to upset him a couple times, which is always great. So he was wired in today. It was fun going through today's the meetings, practice, all that stuff.
Why are you convinced that you know that he's going to be better than he was the last time he played in a regular season?
Just the reps, experience. I mean, I know we said he missed last year, but I mean, we went through the whole spring. We had a good amount of training camp practices. I mean, he stayed so engaged throughout that whole year, which it's hard to do when you know you're not going to play. I mean, I know everybody will say, well, quarterbacks, well, yeah. I mean, it's not as easy as you think. I mean, he really took last year and used it to his advantage. And taking a step back and being able to watch everything, listen to everything, kind of see how guys react to certain things, and then also just listening constantly about when we're talking about plays, concepts, progressions, why we're doing things. He was able to really take it all in, and now it's processing faster for him.
You came here as a quarterback expert of sorts. So are you comfortable putting your name behind Ryan Tannehill?
Oh, yeah. I love working with him. I love how he does everything from the time he gets in the building until the time he leaves. He really has shown me a lot, especially on the practice field, how intense he is, how he treats every day like a game. He's taken a hold of this offense, and he's made it his own. There's certain things that we've never done before that we do now because of what he likes to do, and I really like the way that he's working with those group of skilled guys. I think they have good chemistry, and I think it's a good start for this season for us.
Adam, you know Ryan on a personal level, but he's been on social media trying to get fans and trying to endear himself to fans with certain videos and things like that. Have you seen that, and what do you think about him kind of trying to getting other people to get to know him?
I haven't seen any. I don't pay attention much. So, but I mean, I think there's who he is when we're at practice and in the building and things like that. I mean, a lot of people get a 3-hour snippet of who he is, and that's just during a game. And you know, I know it's a game, but at the same time, I mean, it's a business, and guys put a lot of time and effort in this thing. And I mean, when they get locked in on Sunday, man, and these guys, it becomes a different deal. It's a very competitive, and it's professionals.
Adam, with Luke Falk, you said maybe if he was a 5th or 6th year guy, you might try to get some information. Can you think of a time where that's paid off at any point in your NFL career where you've gotten information from a player who was with a former team?
No.
Have you ever tried? Have you been around where it's tried and it just hasn't worked, or it just?
Not that I remember.
And then obviously, a lot of this will depend on snap counts in a game, but is it realistic ever to go more than 2 deep in terms of carries to running backs? Obviously, Kenny and Frank will have a lot, or is it really challenging to weave in Kalen or Sonoris?
It's all about how many plays you have per game. So, we've had times where you have 75 plus. Now, yeah, you get multiple guys in there, 2, 3, 4. I mean, it just depends how many you have up. And when you have 50, now you're struggling to split with 2 guys. So it's all about the amount of plays, how many drives you can get, how long your series are. So the longer the drive and the more drives you have, the more chance you got to spread the ball out. We're still kind of waiting to see when, how he feels as far as catching balls and stuff like that. He's doing a lot of cardio stuff. He's doing a lot of individual drill type things, with our training staff. So it's just once we get the green light, then, we'll go at it.
You can't do anything yet.
Not yet. I mean, we haven't tried yet, so.
Adam, how different is this September 5th from a year ago from all standpoints? It's your 3rd year, not your 2nd year. There's no hurricane bearing down on you. You've got Ryan Tannehill here.
It's still early. So.
But it's got to be like a world of difference, huh?
Well, it's nice to be able, really, it looks like we're going to open up at home, so that's exciting. We're not traveling to Seattle. We're not in LA. So I really think, I know the coaching staff's excited, the players are excited. We want to get in there. We want to get it, really everything going in the right direction in this first game of, moving the ball, get some 3 and outs. I mean, that's really what we want to do, get the crowd involved in it early to where now when we get to 3rd downs on defense, it's the volume's getting up there because, I mean, there's been times when, when the games start going our way and we're getting to those 3rd down, it makes it really hard on the opposing quarterback.
Adam, how quickly would you expect William Hayes to be able to get back to, I don't want to say mid-season form, but to
He'll be all right. I mean, he's been playing so long. I mean, we held him out more because we just wanted to make sure we were as close to 100% as we could get. So he's ready to go.
It's clear, what guys obviously are going to play for the most part Sunday. But tight end, you have some interesting options. Is AJ in your mind beyond what you anticipate your use of Gesicki and Marquise?
I mean, we'll just see how it goes. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, I don't want to give a game plan away, but at the same time, it's the flow of the game. It's going to be you have an idea, but things change quickly.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the interviews. I hope you enjoyed the show. And as always, if you did, please hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends, post on Facebook, whatever. Hit the like button, and definitely leave me some comments, questions, concerns, anything you'd like to see or hear in the videos, stuff like that. So definitely let me know. And of course, the most important thing is subscribe. So with that said, I'll see you guys soon, and fins up.